I came in 1962 for first year.
I came in 61 because in those days they had what they call an S class, which is when you were going to get to carry on and do O-levels, or standard grades as they are now, whatever they are. And I wasn't getting to do that first of all, but I did well enough my first year. I then repeated the first year because I'm actually a year older than Moira anyway, so that's why, but we still ended up in the same class eventually.
But I think we probably came Monday to Friday, and we didn't stay here, it was part of our lessons that we came here. They taught us how to sew and make sort of basic meals, but we had cookery and ironing and just really running a home, and it was a very good education. I would think that it probably had been girls in our class that came, or maybe it was other classes in the same year. I don't remember that, but I do remember thinking, oh yes, that was good. Whether it was just getting away from, the boring English and all that kind of stuff.
We were there for a week, I believe it was, wasn't it?
We'd have been doing different things.
Yes,
yeah, we had to cook a meal for the teachers, and teachers came across and had their lunch. And we had to learn how to make a bed, and your pillow slip had to be with the open end away from the door so that you don't get the draft in. We really didn't. We didn't question too much, did we?
No,
we just did what we were told. Because we
do
were good students then, we did what we were told.
And the bulk of the cookery lessons were over in the main school with a Mrs. Coots and a Mrs. Carr. And then when we were in, I'm sure it was just fourth year, we had to come over to the flat, which was here, and it was run by a Mrs. Crombie. And Mrs. Crombie had a dog called Storm, and it was, I'm sure it was an Alsatian, or an Alsatian cross. It was a great big dog. It was as harmless as the day is long, but we had to cope with having this dog in the rooms with us, and we had to cook for it as well.
Yeah, Mrs. Crombie was quite a formidable lady.
She was a big lady,
Yes.
Liked her cigarette.
Yes. Oh, yes, well.
The ash could go in
The ash
places
went into
we
the
didn't.
soup. And I remember she said we were going to make roast heart. And it was terrible, absolutely awful.
I can't remember what the other meals were, but I remember clearly that Mrs. Crombie decided one day that we would cook heart and we would eat it. Well, I had a friend called Mary, and she and I rebelled and said, we're not eating heart. So we were told we had to do without lunch. So we did without lunch rather than eat it. But that was us being very naughty and disobedient, but no, really. Ugh.
There was a big difference between, we were just talking about it to the lady out there, between boys and girls then. The sewing room was round about here, and the carpentry for the boys was through the other side. So they would get woodwork, metalwork, all that kind of thing. So we were divided, including the playgrounds. We were all divided up.
Didn't stop us getting to know the boys.
No, not at all.
Technical department had rooms that way. I think just woodwork from what I remember that was being done. I certainly had some classes there. What year I can't remember, because I did technical and art and the more practical sort of things over at the main building. And I mean, teachers that we had at the time was Mr. Winters, Mr. Masson, Mr. Ritchie, and the main on the technical side. Mr. Masson unfortunately died last week or the week before, but he was 94, so he'd done well. But no, he was. Well, he was quite. We were all quite friendly because he also ran the hockey team, and I was involved in the boys' hockey side of it. Because it was only hockey or football at Ruthrieston. There wasn't any rugby at that time anyway.
When it was hockey, I used to volunteer to play either right back or left back so that I could chat with either the goalie or the other person.
I was the goalie when I played hockey. So that was a different set of girls that I played with as well, not just girls in my class. So I remember some of them. And I do remember when I looked at that photograph that my brother sent, I remember looking and saying, oh yes, that's Alison and that's Linda and that's Anne. And I remembered their names just by looking at it.
Yeah. But I was a gym bunny. I liked the gym. I was the climbing up the bars, doing the
They don't do
athletics,
that now.
badminton,
No, yeah.
hockey. I was the goalie.
I liked hockey.
Skiing. I went skiing with the
netball.
school.
No,
I
I
went
didn't go
skiing with the
skiing.
school. Glen Shee, there was no snow. It was wet. We were soaked through. Yeah.
But you will go on that slopes regardless.
They also had the sewing room here as well.
They had the
'cause
sewing room.
On the film, you'll see girls coming out the front door here in dresses that they've made. Everything was gingham, remember? And you just had to fill,
And you had
fill the squares.
lap bags, what they called lap bags, you'd made yourself. And
You made,
tied them at the
you
back.
made a bag with a pocket for your
Yes,
sewing
sewing
work.
work.
You made an apron for the cooking because
Yeah.
it was like had a bib,
That's
and,
right.
and then you
Yeah.
had your headband that you had as well.
I can't
Remember that? It was all gingham. Everything was trimmed in gingham
Yes.
or actually gingham.
I do remember that we used to go out, if you were leaving your seat in the sewing room, you'd take scissors with you and you'd cut one of the girls' bags, tires at the back. So when she stood up, it fell.
She was a bad girl then, obviously.
No,
Not me. I was a good girl.
no.
Aye.
It was just, it's just little things like that you can recall. So it's,
Happy days.
Oh,
Happy
happy
d-
days.
happy days.
Yeah,
Mhm.
absolutely. Ruthrieston was a good school.
We were in 4th year. The girls got the option of doing woodwork for, is that a term?
Could be something like that.
Because I have a stool that I made
A traditional four-legged stool with spindles.
with
a
wood,
rattan type
Yeah.
woven top on it.
which was beautiful until somebody
Use it
used it to prop up a bit of wood while he cut
with an
the
electric
wood.
saw.
But no, that was great. That was good fun. But that was all over in the other the old building. And then the guys got a chance to do cookery. You didn't.
Don't think I ever did. I
No.
was so busy with our stuff.
Yeah,
Maybe.
but no, there was about 3 or 4 boys had to pitch in and into the cookery lessons with Mrs. Coots, and you didn't cross Mrs. Coots. She was a super teacher. If she said jump, you said how high.
All I memory I have from over here is we both ended up being prefects in what, 3rd and 4th year?
No, I think it was just 4th.
Was it?
Yeah.
I can't remember. But you used to have to go on patrol because children coming over here for classes had a habit, especially at near our lunchtime, of just disappearing out the back gate. So we'd a patrol up and down the lane at the back, etc. So that was another memory of that. So as I say, it's amazing the number of folk that we still know in Aberdeen that were our contemporaries there.
Yeah.
Either our actual year or probably a year. I think the younger ones we probably knew better than the older ones.
But yeah,
We were commenting before, a couple of days ago before we came to this, that it was amazing the number of couples that
Yeah.
actually formed out, or marriages that formed out of, we can think of about 3 or 4
3,
at least.
yes, we were all at school together and linked up. And
Not necessarily boyfriend and girlfriend at this school, and not necessarily academy afterwards,
No.
but then eventually, just
Yeah.
because we knew each other through the school.
yeah.
I mean, the other memories is the winters when you used to see the icebergs, I mean, ice floats going down the river. You used to
Yeah.
sit in your classroom, and the main building was like a more modern concrete built strip along the front of Riverside Drive, and the older granite original building sat behind that and came towards Broomhill Road. Sorry, not Broomhill Road, Holborn Street.
Holborn Street.
But when you were sitting on the one strip near Riverside
was
Drive,
mass.
you could look over onto the river, and in winter, if it had been a really cold nights up at Braemar and Aboyne, etc., all these ice flows used to come down the river and in fact, eventually block it. There wasn't enough water to get through.
But I do remember this was a good time in this particular place, and the actual Ruthrieston school as such was a good school to go to. I think perhaps one of the better ones, because a lot of children that left Ruthrieston carried on to either the high school, which would have been like for seniors, they would have gone 15, 16 years old. They would have gone on to what really probably was like further education. Whereas I just stopped after or before O levels actually, and I think I was probably 15, maybe nearly 16 when I left school. That's why I'm thinking it was 1960. 66 or 67.
Oh, happy days at Ruthrieston. Very happy days. It was a lovely school.